My name's Theo Garvey. I'm an independent filmmaker, an illustrator, retro enthusiast and journalist born and raised in the Steel City of Sheffield. I'm also known to some as battle rapper, Psychosis Holocaust, but no matter what I'm doing, it's all connected to the fact that I love making art, watching movies and being creative. On top of all this, along with my team, the Sheffspendables, we've spent the last few years painstakingly putting together the most ambitious project that we've ever attempted, my feature-length post-apocalyptic action-adventure movie, Unit 11. So you could say that we're quite busy, but I couldn't turn down the opportunity to create our own TV show, so me and the team are pulling together all of our resources to let you into our world and speak to other people that are on similar missions to what we are, as well as throwing a ton of other cool stuff just for the fun of it. Because there's so much more out there than what the modern day mainstream media spoon feeds us, not to mention all the amazing old school nostalgia that we forget about, so we're going to take you on a journey deep underground. This is Slimehouse TV. Welcome to Slimehouse TV, the show that brings you the very best in cult movies, underground music, and anything else cool, artistic, retro and edgy. You know the format by now, we're a completely self-funded show, the budget for this programme is zero, but what we lack in funding we make up for with a wicked line of special guests that we're going to keep featuring throughout this series. Now, growing up making urban music in Sheffield, it's hard not to become at some point connected with the niche and baseline scene, and few people know that more than our first guest tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for my guy, K.Dot. How are you doing, bruv? You good?
Yeah, I'm blessed still.
So what I want to talk to you about today mainly is like the stuff when you was very young and how much you blew up from such a young age.
Yeah, basically, back in the day, I could always remember rap songs easily. I was good with the flow and that. And probably 90% of MCs probably start rapping over people's lyrics. You get me, the favourite rappers, like the obvious names like Biggie and that. And then I just started rap. I moved on to the Wyburn, where I met the lads who I've been doing music with for years now, AK Milts and that. And there was a youth project at Wyburn Youth Club. And basically, they used to get us out of school every Friday, you get me? Basically, like a DJ project, they used to pay for studio for us and that. I just started writing then and I just got the lads on it and stayed on it ever since.
Obviously, you were 16 when you wrote this banger, Get Millie, Get Mad, and sort of quite quickly you blew up. Obviously, that's how I heard about you, this track getting Bluetooth around everyone's phone and stuff, because I was young myself, do you know what I mean? And I know you're younger than me. So what was that like, blowing up at such a young age on that kind of scene and getting booked for clubs that you probably weren't even old enough to get in?
Yeah, it was a mad thing, but there's good sides and bad sides to it. Like, obviously, if I'd have never got them performances, like I was still at school when I was performing at Vibe, you get me? But in a way, it kind of made me like, this is it now. It can only get bigger from there. But when the baseline scene kind of died down, it was like, I was like at a crossroads, you get me? I didn't really know what to do because that's all I knew. I was getting paid to perform from 16, so I thought it can only get bigger from here, you get me? So it was a good experience, and you learn a lot from it. And yeah, it was probably the best years of my life so far.
Ever since I've been listening to you and stuff, you've always prolifically brought stuff out. I can't even remember much time when there's been a bit of a break from stuff. You've always seemed to be consistently on it. How important do you think it is to keep consistent and keep bringing stuff out? Yeah,
it's definitely important. Obviously, it just comes natural to man. Like I feel I don't work off as much as I should. You get me nowadays. For the past 5 years, I felt like that. Like really and truly, I should put in a lot more work, but. It's like the way the scene is and everything's YouTube views and that. It's not really hard to look like you're doing more work than you are anyway. You get me? You release a few videos, you get your few thousands of views and that, and that's about it. But I feel like sometimes you might need a break. For 10 years, obviously, we've been on it and the fan base is there. But I don't know, it's kind of like if you just 10 years of the same thing, you need a break. That's why me, obviously, going to jail and coming out, and the music that I'm about to release, it'll probably have a bigger impact than the stuff that I was releasing before I went to jail. It did me well, the break, you get me? But obviously it is important to just carry on going through. But in the way the scene is nowadays, you see a man pop up out of nowhere and bust. So it's mad, but yeah, obviously we just kept on it. It's like, I feel like I've got no choice. I'd be letting too many people down if I didn't spit, you get me?
Their names took a loss in my bags. There comes just a bag of shit. I ain't come a lot, comes to the mannerism, one of a kind, and you're dead with trying to spit. Tell a man straight like Simon Cowell with serves on the bonus like a jump on a bag of chips. Blood, no one's challenging. Charged got motorway, smoking bag of splits.
Talking a bit about the jail thing, getting put away for a bit and then coming out, like, how'd you get over that, like, through your music and just keep positive with it?
The music is the thing that kept me going in jail. Like when I was in jail, man used to say to me all the time, "You don't belong here. You need to stick to your music thing." So it's one of them ones where if I wasn't doing music, I'd probably been in jail before I even went to jail. You get me? Like, I couldn't do anything but see positive writing, and that just got me. It felt like my 8 months just flew like that, because you're in your pad, you're writing, you fall asleep, you wake up, you do the same thing every day. You just get into a routine. Like, if I didn't have music, I'd feel like I didn't have anything to come out to.
When you was like quite young, getting booked for this, and you obviously you were making quite a bit of money off it. Then, do you know what I mean? For a young kid making all this money, like purely just probably do what you want with it. It weren't like you had a mortgage and bills and stuff to pay at that age. You were still in school. How important is the money to the music? What comes first? Is it the money, or is it the music first?
I'd say the music comes first, but obviously when you've been doing it for so long, you want to earn money. Like, I never really acquired any big funds because the money had been gone before I even left the club. That was the thing. You just spend your money on drinks on that night. So it wasn't really like man was balling like a lot of people would think anyway. You get me? The man weren't getting paid nowhere near as much as people think. But I don't know. It's, for me right now, it's kind of equally more important, the money and the music. You get me? But I've still got the hunger. I feel like I've got a newfound hunger of recent times. Like, over the past few months, I've been at it. You get me? Writing a lot more than I used to. But obviously, man, are in this for money. We want to make money. We can make money. So if there's an opportunity there, we're going to do that. It's legit, you get me? That's what the aim is. Obviously, man, want to make, if we can live off music, then that's the dream come true. It's not even about charting or any of them things there. If you're just doing shows, a few shows a week, you can live off that, you know what I mean? So that is obviously the aim. How I used to format my things when I'm releasing stuff, it would always be, mixtape, and I'd plan towards this release. But what I want to do is just flood tracks. I want to get that radio play, because being in jail, you realise that half of the scene aren't really doing anything. If you want to look at it like it's YouTube views and that's where their career starts and ends. Man want them one extra plays like we used to on Baseline. We need to be getting them on Grime.
Nowadays, I find that a lot of people are obsessed with them YouTube views. These people who are doing music that are gigging every week, got loads of fans all over the country, gigging, but they ain't got very many YouTube views. What do you think's more important?
The old school fan base is more important. People that'll come to pay to see you, buy your CDs, buy your merchandise. Them YouTube views, half of the time, it's just haters and nosy people. They want to go on there, dislike your shit, put idiot comments on there and things like that. Like, YouTube views to me don't really mean nothing. It's all about, obviously, man could have 100,000 views but can't sell out a 500 people show. And you see that happening all the time. So to me, YouTube views don't really mean anything. But in this day and age, it does seem important. Like, people let the YouTube views go to the head. You see MCs that are garbage getting 500,000 views and that. You know what I mean? It don't mean anything. Especially nowadays, you can buy views and that. You know what I mean? To me, it don't really mean anything. It's all about the real fan base. People that I'd rather have 200 people that will come and see me every show I do than 50,000 followers that half of the time don't even retweet your stuff. You know what I mean?
Nice one. Well, thanks for joining us, mate. It's been wicked, and I look forward to what's coming out next. Give me a round of applause, people. K.Dot. So from the north of England to the Big Apple now, New York, as a couple of weeks ago we hooked up with the one and only king of death rap, NECRO, while on his latest tour of Europe. Undoubtedly one of the most shocking yet independent rappers ever. I like to think of him as a kind of Lloyd Kaufman of hip-hop, and when we heard he were travelling to Manchester, we couldn't help but try and get an interview with him. So this is how we got on. Theo K.Dot there, rocking a blue tongue because we're eating tango sweets. Just on the way to Manchester to go and hopefully get an interview with NECRO and cover some of his live show. So basically NECRO is one of, if not the biggest underground rapper in the world. So it's going to be wicked to talk to him hopefully about like working independently, being a self-maintained unit and having full creative control over his own record label and the music that they make. He's currently touring Europe as part of his Terminator tour. So they were in London I think a couple of days ago, now they're in Manchester, and before that they've been in France and Sweden and all these other places, and they're off to Belgium and Germany I think later on this week. Kind of got permission to cover the event and film some shit. I've not been told if I can get an interview with NECRO yet or anything like that, but I like to blag, that's what we do. We're going to try and get some kind of coverage with NECRO later. We're not going motorway, we're going these random roads. Snake Pass. Yeah. Snake Pass, you know. Right, so we're here at the venue, we'll see what we can do.
You're dead on the list there to get in man next week. Did you give a stamp?
Well, that's bright.
It's bright, isn't it? What, do you want the picture?
Yeah, are you filming?
Yeah, filming.
Oh, God.
So, I'll take a screenshot or something.
To the pigs with the food up in your centre. So give me hope when you've got like render. C-section 2-pack, picture my agenda. Rise up when the sun's down. Hey, rise up when the sun's down.
Slowly, cause we don't fuck about. Rock the show when we on the road, G. Do it for the music, man, the music fucking shows me.
Yo, everyone's down here to see one of the most violent, most belligerent motherfuckers going. His rhymes are tight. He is one of the best, the sickest lyricist, the most diabolical motherfucker around. It's NECRO.
So we're just doing a NECRO gig now. We managed to get in alright and shit, and apparently they're going to let us do an interview with him, so just hanging about waiting for him to come on stage. There's a lot of fans here, a lot of people, a lot of NECRO fans at all, anticipating his performance, so yeah man, it's good vibes.
Make some fucking noise. Motherfuckers. Let's go. Check it. Let's go. You dead kid, now you just meet for preparation. The brain's middle over the street. Like defecation. Pull a gun out on the star. You wait too famous on Hollywood Boulevard to get run over by a car. Big sauce, the size of the teeth, the jaws. Chop you with a jigsaw, pop you with a six saw. Staring at death like a 9/11 choke. Antichrist superstar, jump the spawn of a reverend in a dumpster. You don't like listening to death rap a lot, dude. Nothing like beautiful music for you to hide to. You can't stop pain, all over cocaine last. A close range blast, I'll leave you with no brain fast. Go rap, step yourself to the beat instead. Don't impress me with your rap, impress me not being dead. I'll be impressed when you're bleeding red. Cause at least you can say you've done something I haven't done yet. Trying to beat say NECRO, NECRO, say NECRO, NECRO, say NECRO, NECRO, NECRO.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just here with NECRO in Manchester. It's been a sick gig. Just wanted to talk a bit about like independency and how you've done everything from like the start all on your own. Do you want to just give me a bit about like your background, where you come from, and like how it's differed, the ups and downs of being independent, the highs and lows?
You know, I just come from Brooklyn, New York, and basically being white in hip hop in America, you pretty much got to do it yourself if you're on some hardcore shit. Most of the white kids in hardcore are independent. That's why it was built through us not getting any love. So we all created our own fucking scene.
Obviously, you produce your own shit, you manage yourself. You're pretty much a self-maintained unit. Like, is that something that you always wanted to do, or is that just you had no choice in order to get where you wanted to be?
Artistically, I always wanted to do it myself because I'm a control freak and I'm always seeking for props. So it would make sense to have someone else make my beats, you know, and I'm also a musician. So when I started playing, I was playing in metal bands. I already had the influence of writing my own riffs and shit, guitar riffs. So, you know, like I would incorporate live bass lines into the fucking riffs. And I was playing death metal, so my first beats were very dirty and evil. And so yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I've done every beat on Psychological that's ever been released in 15 years, you know, on any official album. And that's because it's easy, and I enjoy producing, so I would never need to go to someone else.
Look down, you better until you finish. Open up the limit, cross the point and no return. Reach the top, gotta learn how to keep it.
You've done, obviously you do your producing, you've done a bit of acting and stuff. I mean, we talk about a lot of movies on this show, and can we see any more acting from NECRO? Is there anything coming up, or you got anything in the pipeline you'd like to put together?
I've been trying to deal with that, but the fact is if you don't have an agent, you can't get really any good roles. You gotta deal with bullshit roles, so everything I've done has been kind of bullshit because it never really gets seen by anybody. I mean, I do my thing, but they're always low budget, you know, so once you land an official agent, they'll get you roles. Getting an agent is like pulling fucking teeth, you know, so I don't need to do movies. I really don't have to fucking act. I could live literally off my catalog digitally. The PLR catalog digitally pays my bills and my mother's bills. With me sleeping all day if I want to. I just could sleep all day. I wake up at 6. You got up at 6 a.m. to work. For a boss, I got up at 6 p.m. By the time you come home, I'm getting up. So, you know, and that's because of the fucking work I put in all these years. I created a fucking machine. It's like a machine that makes money.
And obviously you're a big film fan, you're a big fan of your action, your horror films. Just quickly, like your top 3 horror films that you like and why?
3, I would say Bloodsucking Freaks is number 1. I would say Maniac is number 2. And
Tom Savini effects.
Tom Savini effects, yeah, he's real dope. He did Maniac effects, yeah, he did. You're right. And I really like High Tension, which I thought is just a more newer one, but it was just really trife.
What tension with Gianetto De Rossi did the effects, same guy did Zombie Flesh Eaters and all that kind of shit.
High Tension?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy flick. Mr. Hyde put me up on that one.
I won't bother him anymore. He's just come straight off the fucking stage for like an hour and a half, jumping all over, fucking sweating like shit. No, we appreciate it. Any shout outs before we get off?
Yeah, shout out to all my fans in Manchester. I love you. I love all my fans in England in general. England is a fucking incredible place, you know what I'm saying, for music and culture, from all the legends. And it's always a pleasure for me to come out here. And I will be back. Terminator tour. I'll be back.
Wicked, you're a fucking Don Necro, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Keep it up, brother. T-H-E-O, like Theodore, Theo, Kane, C-A-N-E. I'm on Drew's friends. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I really should get business cards. Yeah, so is it recording?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, so we just come out of the Necro gig, fucking sick man, he put on a rate show, he had girls tasting themselves and doing all sorts of crazy stuff that you'd not see at a normal conventional hip-hop gig, which is why obviously people flock to Necro. But yeah, it was wicked, he were a fucking gent, mate. Like, he performed for like an hour and a half and he let us still get an interview with him at Ending Pictures and stuff, so yeah man, it's been wicked. Necro, Manchester. Die!
Hey, I don't want you cunts.
Nice one.
My name's Darren, most people call me Uncle Darren. I like watching MMA, I do a little bit of teaching MMA.
Honestly, that didn't tickle.
I also like fabricating things from metal because it's a manly thing to do. Stuff that I generally want in my life isn't for sale, so I figured if somebody had to build it, it may as well be me. This is my current project. It's not quite finished yet. This one's probably 10 horsepower, should run at the 45 to 50 mile an hour range. Yeah, I started building and riding electric bikes a couple of years ago due to, well, old age mostly, and my legs getting a little bit tired and broken. So I got into riding electric ones.
It's like a motorbike, isn't it?
It's not going to be like this one.
Nah, they'll be building one now. Matt's not like that, yeah.
I like it, I want one.
Really, really fast. Ever so slightly illegal, but we don't really take much notice of that. After bumping into Theo, I ended up helping him out with prop building and stuff like that. It was really interesting. At the moment, I've got a minigun that we nearly finished. After getting involved with Theo and the prop side of things, I decided to help him out with some fight choreography on a couple of the scenes.
Get on top of me, I'm going to try and what? I'm going to try and guillotine him.
Leg out this way. Yeah. Alright. And I'm going to come down like that.
Right.
And get straight on top of you.
Oh, and then where am I going?
Right.
Darren, get off me, like it's a movie, it's not real.
So after helping Theo with the fight choreography and the prop building, etc., probably the main thing I brought to the film is my truck. It's been a project of mine for about the last 6 years. It's been an ongoing, evolving process, but I think I'm more than happy with the final shape of it all now.
Yeah, the wicked thing about Darren is like, he didn't build this truck for our film, he built it anyway. I met him after he built it, and then obviously when I saw it I knew we was going to be very good friends.
I had a few good sessions filming with Theo on Sunday mornings. Turned up at numerous industrial estates and scared the living crap out of people driving their 4x4s, being confronted with 25 guys in combat carrying automatic weapons. Theo's a good guy to work with. Very surprised the amount of drive for a young guy, and really not your stereotypical young lad. Very impressed with him, which is why I really enjoy helping him out. Really looking forward to seeing this final product. Quite excited to see myself and my ugly face on the big screen. I'm quite sure that there'll be bigger and better things in the future for us all to do. Can't wait for the next stuff. Give me something to build, mate. It's on.
Theo Reviews, Theo K.Dot, Tasmin Leona, and this week we're looking at one of my favourite independent underrated films ever, Deadbeat at Dawn.
This film's really reminiscent of The Warriors. It's about tribes, gangs, warring across an urban cityscape.
You're on our turf, scum fuck.
Come on, Goose. You're not stupid. You fire that and you've got the man here. Is that how you deal with us? On your turf, you deal with the spiders by calling the man in?
It's very raw, very gritty, very gory, all things that I like in this kind of film. But one of the main things I like about this film is that it was independently shot over the course of 4 years by Jim Van Bebber, who not only starred in the film, but he also wrote and directed it.
Some of the more notable parts of this film are the death scenes, particularly for me the one of his girlfriend when he finds his girlfriend almost dead and she does eventually die. The way he disposes of her body is just brutal, and like he doesn't have a funeral, he just wraps her in a sheet and drops her into a garbage disposal where it just compacts her body.
There's lots of times when the storyline changes and continuity ain't quite clear, but you really forgive it with the amount of action and fight scenes that they've packed into this film. It's relentless, it's non-stop, and when they do start fighting, the effects just keep coming.
This film's got a lot going for it. It's got a bit of romance, it's got some supernatural stuff going on. We don't know where that's going, but it's in there. And it's obviously got lots of action and lots of fighting scenes. There's lots of moving scenes as well.
Good job, didn't they? Yeah, they sure did.
There's lots of people getting stabbed and chopped up and punched and bricked and thrown off things. And you can tell that Jim Van Bebber put his body through a lot of brutal stuff to get this film made. He throws himself off a bridge, he's getting hit by cars, he's getting thrown about and slammed and hit. And you can just see that the passion that he had for filmmaking just shows all the way through the film. He really didn't care about putting himself through pain to get the shots that he wanted to get done.
So one thing that I really noticed about this film is that it's very realistic in the way that it shoots the street scenes, especially when he's on heroin. It really shows it in a non-glamorous way, very un-Hollywood.
The fight scenes are really scrappy and you can tell the choreographed just on the day, but that just adds to the fact that it makes the film just look a lot more raw and brutal than your average Hollywood gang film. It's a great film for independent filmmakers to check out that are making something that's larger scale than just a short little idea. Usually you're pointed in the direction of people like Robert Rodriguez, and even though I love everything that guy's ever done, this is someone that really should be looked at as well. He's very, very underrated as a filmmaker. This film has everything, and if you're making something that's an independent film that's on a larger scale than your average short film, this is a full feature and it's definitely worth checking out, even if it's just a study as a filmmaker. Jim Van Bebber after this went on to make the equally controversial The Manson family film, which again was very gritty and very raw and known for being like a very weird, crazy film, but entertaining nonetheless.
Do you remember the moment she died? Yeah. Christy, Goose's girl. Do you remember the moment, the look, her eyes, her pupils when she died? I wasn't looking at her eyes. Stubby had her face, I had her stomach. They look like snakes. Snakes? What do you mean snakes? What look like snakes? Her intestines look like snakes.
So if you are into gang films and films with street brawls and street wars, this is definitely worth checking out. But if you're just a filmmaker wanting to see something as a study piece, it's also definitely a great reference to be looking at. So that's Deadbeat at Dawn, 1988, Jim Van Bebber. So whilst training for fight scenes for our upcoming feature film Unit 11, we hooked up with Steel City Parkour Gym and we was all massively impressed by the skill level of the guys that were there. However, one stood out more than anyone. French-born professional freerunner Laurent Bier, and after hearing that he wanted to become a stuntman, naturally we got him involved in the stuff that we were doing. After getting to know him more on a personal level, I found out that his origin story was even more cool and inspiring than his acrobatic skills were. So what we're going to do today is hook up with him, film him do some cool flips and stuff, and hopefully get an interview with him. Let's see how we get on.
Yeah, man. Bits.
So Laurent, when I first met you at the parkour gym, we were training for Unit 11. Getting to know you a bit more, I found out you had quite a cool story, so just wanted to share it with the people at Slimehouse TV. First of all, just like, give me your earliest memory of wanting to be a stuntman in France.
Originally, since a young age, I always wanted to be a stuntman. Always loved chucking myself about, even before when I was like 14, 15, probably like 14, 13, I was used to like record on the phone just some throwing myself about and stuff like that, not knowing much. What I did is I quit school when I was about 15, 16 and started working to go to a stuntman school. Started working loads, save up loads of money to go to the school, and I originally saw a price, but the price was just for the school, not for the food and staying and all of that.
So what was that original price that you saw?
It was, I think it was like $4 grand for the 2 years, and when I contacted them again, the price changed and it was something like $6 grand for it, and it was only for the school holidays and only for 2 years, but only for the school holidays. So the rest of the time I have to like find a place to stay and all of that crap. And it was in the south of France where I just like didn't know anybody or anything, so I was like, oh, I'm kind of screwed, and I had no qualification, no nothing, so I was like proper like, oh, fuck that kind of thing. So I moved back to Greece with the money I saved, started like enjoying my time, really like just spending money stupidly and that. And then I was like, kind of like, I need to do something with my life, I need to like sort myself out. And I've got a friend that lives in England, and he was like, oh, I'll move here, and he used to work at a gym as well, so I thought I'll move here and I'll be able to like use the gym to like do some teaching or sort myself out that way. So move over here, and then now I'm like teaching all over the place and doing some performance and stuff like that.
So when I first met you, I was very impressed with the skill level that I saw. Like, I was at the parkour gym, there were lots of people doing flips, I was learning to do flips, and I met you, and the stuff you were doing was like unbelievable. So this stuff that you can do, this is not something that you got taught in a stunt school, this is like something you've learned completely independently.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I used to do breakdancing, so I went to like a breakdance school when I was in Greece, and it was really cool. We like give me a lot of start background sort of thing, really lots of strength and learning different techniques. And then a friend of mine used to do what was called parkour freerunning, but it was more like he used to be an old gymnastic teacher, and he used to teach some flips in like this club. So I went down to this club for like a few months, and I learned like to backflip and to do a front flip. And then I taught myself like all the rest from that, just like learning through videos, learning through experiencing and just trying stuff.
I mean, the word parkour, that comes from France, doesn't it? Parkour is like primarily a French culture. Like, how big is it in France, parkour?
Yeah, well, parkour originated from a guy called David in France. His dad used to be, he's a really cool guy. His dad used to be in the military, and from really young they used to be taken to be like spies in the forest because they're really young and really agile. They train them to be really agile. But living in Paris with all these tall buildings and all the pressure that you've got, you needed to like get away. So parkour originated from like the need to get away, overcome obstacles, overcome these barriers, these kind of system that people want to put us into, like going a straight line and not going out of the limit kind of thing. So parkour is from that, from going from one place to another as fast as you can, overcoming every obstacle.
So what stood out a lot about you when I was talking to you, getting to know you more on a personal level, is that you wanted to not just do parkour, because a lot of people will just do parkour as like a hobby or that kind of thing. Not only do you now teach parkour, like that's your job, but also you're wanting to be a stuntman. So like where do you want to take this? Obviously we've done some filming together, that's like how I've got to know you a bit more. Like where you wanting to take this next?
Well, like I said, like from a young age, I always wanted to be a stuntman, and that's still like a really vivid dream. It's like I would love to become a stuntman, because, like I said, I love chucking myself about, like all the fighting. I watch a lot of like Jackie Chan films and all, like Jet Li, and I really enjoy like all this stunt work, and I've done a bit of stunt choreography, a bit of stunt myself, and that's like a big dream that I would love to be able to accomplish one day, to be a stunt coordinator or a stunt performer in like a big movie or something.
Well, if anyone can, Laurie, and you can, you're a legend, mate. Every time we film, I walk home and I think, I don't want to be Theo anymore, I want to be Laurie N. So big up, mate. Thanks for filming. It's been a wicked day. Thank you. Slimehouse TV. Okay, next up we've got, without doubt, one of my favourite bands ever. Their unique sound of self-described whiskey-fueled outlaw swamp rock is something that I'm a massive fan of, and if I was on a revenge mission of death and heartache, there's nothing else I'd rather be listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the Clench! How we doing? Are we groovy?
All groovy, man. All groovy. All good, man.
All good, all good. So I'm joined with Rob and Joe Meredith from the Clench, but I call him Meredith because I've known him a while, and that's just the level that we're on. Okay, give me a quick lowdown of how you put this band together, because I know you've been going for a while now.
Yeah. We actually came together as a smaller band for a friend's 30th, and amusingly enough, we were doing a handful of cover versions. I think we busted out, what was it? We did She's Like the Wind. We did She's Like the Wind. It's fucking beautiful. It was beautiful. So we were doing that. That went well, and we thought this is quite fun. Let's keep this together. Got a fuller band, and then tried to find a sound that was mutually beneficial.
And obviously the sound is mega authentic. It just sounds straight, like it's out of a film. Do you know what I mean? It's straight out of Sergio Leone. Is it hard trying to recreate that kind of sound, or did it just come natural?
It's surprising how easy it is to steal things, really, in terms of sound and even guitar bits. No, all right, sorry.
He who does not copy recreates nothing, said Salvador Dali. It's not.
I'd go with that.
It's not Robin if you're just taking inspiration.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I think. Yeah. I mean,
exactly it.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, with a lot of the stuff, particularly the new songs that we're working on at the moment, if presumably a lot of people will have seen Once Upon a Time in the West, the whole bit when the farm's being raided, and you get the harmonica man, the track coming in, and that first guitar twang it's like, if we can recreate that somehow, then I'll be happy, to be quite honest.
You've been doing this for how long now? It's 8 years. I think it's 8 years from when I researched you, from the amount of in-depth research I do for every guest that comes on this show. Yeah, how hard is it to keep the band together? I know so many bands just split up over stupid things. Like, I know your guys, your old friends. So does that help keeping the band going?
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of bullshit that you kind of might get upset about, but it's easier just to laugh it off if you kind of know everyone in the band beforehand. And to be honest, there's nobody in the band's particularly got much of an ego. It's not like anyone's saying,
best way.
I want it like this, and if it's not like this, I'm leaving. Or, it's a waste of time, isn't it, really? So we've had our times, We've had our differences. But nothing major enough to, cause any major rifts or anything like that.
And obviously, like, when I was doing my music, I always try to link my filmmaking into my music as much as possible. Kind of do it all as one, because I'm so influenced by films, and obviously your guys are as well. Just hit me with some of the films that influence you in the filmmaking and the music side of stuff, and just in life, because I know you're a big Jello fan as well.
That's true. I mean, I've always said I'd love to. I mean, we're doing it with the new recordings to a degree, trying to get more instruments and more kind of stuff. So we'd lay down our stuff and then bring in kind of violins and other singers and pianos and all that kind of thing to get closer to a sort of soundtrack. But I mean, we did have a song called "Cross the Borderline," which is pretty much.
I love that song.
High Plains
Cross
Drifter.
the borderline. Yeah, man.
The exact one.
So if I can always cover that, don't worry.
You could cover that. I mean, like I said, we're still waiting for you to do that. Rap at the end of one of our.
I'm doing it. It's happening. 100%. I'm gonna write a verse.
It's already.
Track.
It's in that notebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll work on that later.
No, I'm 100% on it. No, I am.
Beautiful.
I'll be a space marine that's travelled through time and landed in the Old West.
It's amazing, man. I mean, so we'll trade, like, I'll sing a beautiful melody and then you just come in with some, like, fucking hard-ass beats. What do you reckon? Should we do that? And that'd be a good idea? Yeah. Your people have spoken. Yeah. Your people have speaked.
Yeah.
It's all getting out of hand. I can give the mic back.
Just finally, you're gonna perform for us. Just tell me a bit about the song.
Well, in typical Clench fashion, as boys from Sheffield, who better place to write a song about a dude drunkenly crawling his way into Mexico to get caught cheating at cards and wind up getting killed by the local sheriff. I figured we've got the knowledge, we got the info on that, so we thought we'd lay it down.
Well, I can't wait for it. As you know, I'm a massive fan of your music and just of you guys as people. Give them a round of applause, please. The Clench!
Fell into some border town just south of the Mexico line. A pocket full of empty and a belly full of wine. I lost my horse to a rattlesnake. I crawled across the sand. Hit this godforsaken town, empty bottle in my hand. I've been riding into nowhere, crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make this life worth living. Crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been riding into nowhere. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living. My body craved a refill, so I made it to the bar. I felt a firm hand on my shoulder. I turned and faced the sheriff's star. He said, son, I come to warn ya, we don't like strangers here. Don't think to start no trouble, boy, I'll make you disappear. I've been riding into nowhere, crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living. Crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been riding into nowhere. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living. Saw some cowboys playing poker, so I went to join the game. But Lady Luck, she wasn't with me, oh, but I won them just the same. I tipped my hat to leave them, 2 aces tumbled down. I heard somebody screaming, everybody hit the ground. I've been riding into nowhere, crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living. Crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been riding into nowhere. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living. Crying whiskey dead since you left me. I've been riding into nowhere. I've been searching for a pretty girl just to make my life worth living.